And it is a what symbol? An and. So I take away all the places where they didn't double shade, correct? If it was an or, I would be done. Anywhere it was shaded would be counted, correct? So where did the double shade happen? In the green, which is actually where this was shaded in the first place, right? Not working for you. And you would erase it better if you had an eraser with pencil, right? So that's why it is C. The next one. The Venn diagram below shows 4 colors that are created by mixing the 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. How many of these colors are A or B and C? So I need to shade A or B first. So A or B is the A or B snowman, right? That's A or B. Then I need to shade C, because that's this one. And what symbol is between them? An and or an or? An intersection or a union? This is an intersection. So I'm keeping where they both are, correct? So because it's an intersection, I once again erase anything that's not double colored. So it would be orange, purple, black. Which is how many? 3. Oh, great. How many 4-letter arrangements? Words are always what? Perms or comms? Perms. Words are always perms because order matters, right? Now we only want 4-letter arrangements, and a lot of people will not see that part. They just rearrange all of chemistry. Now chemistry, C-H-E-M-I-S-T-R-Y. Why am I writing it like this and I indirectly just wrote the word chemistry? Yeah.
So you can check if there's any repeating letters.
Because if there's repeating letters, I would have factorials underneath, right, for all the repeating letters. So how many letters are there in chemistry? 1 C, 1 H, 1 E, M-I-S-T-R-Y. So 9, right? There are 9. So if there are 9 letters in chemistry, how many letter options do I have for the first blank? 9. Then I leave one there. So how many do I have for the next one?
8.
Then?
7.
Then?
6.
What's 9 times 8 times 7 times 6?
3,700.
Now remember, I told you if you went down by 1 each time, you could use the P for permutations. So this could be N, P, and then how many did I go down by? Bless you. How many did I go down by? 4. 4 blanks, right? So this is actually equivalent to this. These are the same thing, and you need to know that because sometimes they give it with a P. And you can only use that if it goes down by 1 each time, right? Oh, did I skip 4? No. All right. 5. Sets P, F, and L are represented as follows. Set P is the capital cities of Canadian provinces. Set F are the Canadian cities with CFL teams. Set L are the large central Canadian city teams. What are the cities found in P and F and not L? So my suggestion, or the complement of L, would be to write, I guess, we want the ones that are in P and F, but not in L. So what is in P and F first? So I'm going to narrow down. Is Winnipeg in both? Actually, we'll start here. Victoria in both? Edmonton?
Yes.
Regina?
Yes.
Winnipeg?
Yes.
Toronto?
Yes.
Quebec City? Halifax? No, Charlottetown? St. John's? Calgary? Montreal? The rest look separate, right? Fredericton? Okay. Now what we want, if those are what is in P and F, we want the ones that are not in L. So which of those are not in L? Toronto is in L. So which of those are not in L?
Edmonton,
Regina, and Winnipeg. You want the ones that are in both, but not in that one, right? The archery club has 65 members, 25 of whom are girls. 12-person committee is to be created to determine the ways that to get more girls to join the club. What is the best representation for determining the correct number of ways the committee could be created if the committee must include exactly 8 girls? First off, is this a perm or a com? Why? Yeah, there's no jobs for these people, right? They just get to, they're either on the committee or they're not on the committee. But if they're on the committee, they don't have anything different, right? So that immediately kicks out B and A. At least we should have a 50-50 chance. Okay? Knowing absolutely nothing, I also now know that it's D. Why? What's the difference between C and D? Multiplication and addition. Addition means what? Or, and multiplication means? And. Remember addition, add and seem like they should go together, but they don't? So how many people do I need on this committee? What kind of person committee is it? 12. This is an 8-person committee or a 4-person committee. Do I want that? No. I want 8 and 4 more, so that gets me 12. So without knowing anything, I could have just narrowed it down by symbols. But why is it this? Well, there's 25 girls, and I choose 8. And I have how many left that aren't girls? 40. And I need to choose 4 more to make 12 people. Right? What unit was that from? Perms and comms. Okay. Bank accounts require a 4-digit personal identification number, so a PIN. 4-digit PIN. Okay, can a PIN start with 0? A PIN?
Yes.
Yeah, a PIN can be really crappy. A PIN could be 0, 0, 0, 0. You have no money left in your bank account. But, because someone just got into it. But you could have 0, 0, 0, 0, right? It's a 4-digit number that can't start with a 0. So we have a 4-digit personal identification number to access the automatic bank machine. I suffer from reading close. The digits that make up a PIN can be repeated. If you want to know how many PIN numbers there are to choose from, would you use a permutation or a combination calculation, and why? Why is it a perm? Because order matters. Because if your code is 1, 2, 3, 4, are you getting in with 4, 3, 2, 1? No. So it's a perm because the entry order of the digits of the PIN matters. And if we were allowed to repeat, which this one says you can, if they had asked us to, it would be 10, 10, 10, 10, right? So here, there are 4 identical. That's a scream that these are repeating. 4 identical. Repetition. Green buttons. 4 identical blue buttons. In a bed. Quentin randomly chooses and removes 1 button at a time and places the buttons in a straight line. Is he ordering them or not? He's placing them in a straight line. Is he ordering them or not? You're putting them in a line. Are you ordering them? Yeah. If you throw them all in a bag, are you ordering them? No. Also, the giveaway here was how many ways can the 8 buttons be arranged? Arranged is a permutation. You ever see that word? In a straight line. So I don't forget, I'm immediately doing this. Why am I doing this? There's repeating colors. How many go in the first blank then? 8. Then 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. No, I put a button here. So how many here?
7.
Then?
6.
Then? The moment I put them in fundamental counting principle, the moment I start putting them in blanks, that is a permutation. Remember? So if you know something's a combination, don't go drawing blanks. And how much does this get you? A, B, C, or D?
70.
A? A, B, C, or D? 70. Number 9. So where did that one come from? What unit? Perms and comms. So number 9. At the fair, you have a choice of 7 rides and 4 games to play. How many different compositions of activities can you make if you do exactly 6 activities? So that's the key thing, we have to have 6. And you want to play at most 2 games. So we're choosing games from games, rides from rides. Is it a perm or a com? Com. Girls from girls, boys from boys, hearts from hearts, clubs from clubs, teachers from teachers, students from students, irons from irons, drivers from drivers. I haven't said that in so long, I want to bring it back. That's a perm, right? Or a com. Wow, that was wrong. A com. So we have to have at most 2 games. When we see at most or at least, guys, that is a standard of excellence. At most or at least, we get cases, standard of excellence. So we need at most 2 games. So we need 2 games or what? At most 2 games. We need 2 games or what? You can grab it if you want. 2 games or sorry? Or 1 game or 0 games. Because at most 2 games means 2 games at most. So the rest have to be less than that. So 2 games or 1 game or 0 games. Now we need to have exactly 6 activities. So we need 2 games and what do I need to supplement with? 4 rides. Or 1 game and 5 rides. Or 0 games and 6 rides. So I hope you're copying down, making sure you have it right, because remember, this isn't for me. I'm good at these. Like I'm solid. Done this for many years. A little too many. You know what I'm saying? All right. How many games do we have to choose from?
4.
4. Yeah. 4 and we choose 2. And means I do what? Multiply. Because and add don't go together. Rides? 7. Choose 4. Or means I do what? Add. And I always add cases. Right? Because you can have this case or this case or this case. That's why we add them. Then we go to a new case and we start all over again. 4 choose 1 and 7 choose 5. Or 4 choose 0 and 7 choose 6. And what do we get when we do this? A, B, C, or D?
301.
There we are. I figured that was coming. What unit is that from? Perms and comms. So the big standard of excellence in perms and comms comes from when you have cases. Okay. Here we have the universal set contains a set of natural numbers less than 15. So I'm going to put that first. Natural numbers start at what? What do we naturally start counting at as a child?
1.
1, 2, less than 15. So where do we stop at?
15.
I like it. You guys trying to get bonus marks? I mean, like, I'm not going to say no. You know. All right. Set P are the prime numbers. What's the first prime number? 2. And it's the only what? Even. So if we list the prime numbers, I don't know why I'm writing them over here, but I am. It's going to be 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. And then O is the odd numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 13. And E is the evens. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Now I want disjoint sets. What does disjoint mean? Nothing in common. If I actually do the intersection of the 2 sets, I'll get what? Yeah.
You're just putting it on the set.
It's totally there. No, it wasn't. All right. If I do the intersection of 2 sets and they're disjoint, what do I get? If I do the and of the 2 sets and they're disjoint, what do I get? Rhymes with some empty set. What is it?
Empty set.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you. You are right. So we wanted to determine the disjoint sets. What sets are disjoint here?
O and E.
O and E.
No, I thought it was just a really.
Okay, got, yeah, totally, cool. Yeah. O and E, because if I do O and E, what do I get? Caleb? Yeah, I was like, just repeat yourself. If ever I call on you, just say empty set. Empty set? So two sets that are disjoint, if you take the intersection of them, result in the empty set. Why are they the empty set? Because they have no elements in common. Define a subset. What is a subset? Does anyone remember? Yeah.
It's when there's like two sets, but one of the sets has, elements that are.
Keep going. Yeah, elements that are in the other set. It's exactly it. So a subset is when you have two sets, and the one is a subset because everything in that set, all the elements in that set are contained in the other set. That's exactly it. So an example, don't write this because it has nothing to do with this one, but if I had 1, 2, 3 as set C, and C was a subset of D, what would D have to have at least in it? 1, 2, 3. And would that be enough to make it be a subset? Yeah. And it could have smiley face added. It would still work, right? In order for C to be a subset of D. So which one of these are subsets? People often forget there's something called the universal set that's sitting up there. So O is a subset of the what? And E is a subset of the? And P is a subset of the? And actually, all of them are subsets of what? Themselves. Yeah. Because you just said that. You said if C is a subset of D, it could have just had that and it would have worked, right? So O is actually a subset of O, and E is a subset of E, and P is a subset of P, and all of them, O is a subset of the universal, and E is a subset of the universal, and P is a subset of the universal. All right. So determine the number of elements in O and P naught. So remember I told you the easiest way to do this is to probably write the complement of P. So it would be 1, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 12, 14, no 11. So I want the number of elements in O and P naught. So how many are in O and in P? 1. Any other ones?
9.
And 9. So how many is that? 2. So would I write 1 and 9 here? No, it says the number of elements in, so it would be 2. So remember that this symbol means and, because I can write the word and. This looks stupid. So obviously that's not and, right? Okay, we're back in Venn diagram, still in set theory, right? If the Venn diagram shown below, what are the elements in A and B? A and B is what shape? And is a eyeball. So we want the A and B eyeball. So it's chef, salad, and pizza, which is C. 12, we have a group of 70 travelers are traveling to France. 40 want to see the Eiffel Tower. 35 want to go to the French bakery. And 3 travelers do not want to go anywhere. How many want to see the Eiffel Tower only? What do I have to find first? What do I have to find first? The middle. And how do I find the middle? I need to at least have both separately and the knots, right? And the total. So if I take all the people who put in tickets to want to see the Eiffel Tower, there are 40. 35 want to see a French bakery, and 3 are like, I just wish I didn't come on this trip. I feel like that's what they're saying. So we're at 78 people put in tickets. How many travelers are there? 70. So how many keeners are there? 8. There are 8 keeners who want to do both. Remember we always draw a box on our Venn diagram? Because there are people who are sitting outside the circles but not in the Venn. So this would be Eiffel Tower. Tower, and then we have French bakery. And we have 8 in the middle. How many are French bakery only? 27. And if it said only, but it's the only time we don't subtract, right? And then how many are in the Eiffel Tower only? 32. So they want to know how many want to see the Eiffel Tower only? 32. Oh, we have the word accesses. A, C, C, E, S, S, E, S. Determine the number of ways the vowels can be together. I don't even care about that right now. I'm going to go 2 factorial for the C's, 2 factorial for the E's, 3 factorial for the S's. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want the vowels together. How many vowels are there? 3. A, E, E, right? So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to hook them together. So I have 3, 2, 1. Remember, we treat them like they're all different because the factorial on the bottom gets rid of the cases where they aren't. How many letters are left? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're done? No, what do we have to multiply by? 6. Always one more than after the hooked together numbers. Unless they said the vowels have to be together at the front. If the vowels are together at the front, I would be done, right? So I have to multiply by 6. And so I would get 720 divided by 4, which is 180. Oops. It's really just lazy there. 180. Okay. In how many different ways can a family of 5 people, 2 parents and 3 children, sit in a row if a parent must sit on each end of the row? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Parent has to sit on each end. So how many are here? 2. Then 1. We sat one down. Then
3.
so we get 12. 15. How many different ways can a family of 5, 2 parents and 3 children sit in a row if the parents must sit on... That's a repeater. Cool. You did. All right. This one. So here we have a selection of 90 students in a particular school was surveyed to determine the courses in which they are currently enrolled. The table below represents the data. There are onlys in here. So what are we going to make sure that we don't do? Subtract it. But no, the 2 and the 1 switch the parents. You put 2 on 1. If you went 1 and 1, then you have to multiply by 2. Or you did 2, so that counted either parent, right? Yeah. So we don't want to subtract if we have onlys. So it says there are 90 students. Awesome. Oh, good. Cool. It just does it when it wants. So I have math and drama. And I'm a rebel. And so when I have onlys, okay, yes, we're doing black today. If I have onlys, I can put them in wherever. So math only, 26. Drama only, 37. I don't know the X. And I know there are 15 in either course. How can I find the middle? Yeah. Adding them up and subtracting from 90 because they gave me onlys, right? They didn't say math, which would be the whole circle, and drama, which would be the whole circle, and then I'd add them up and subtract from 90, right? This time I'm going to add them up. So I get 26 and 37 is 63 plus 15 is 78, and I need 90. So how many are in the middle? 12. Oh, that's not what they asked. Cool. The number of students taking drama. 49 because you add up 12 and 37. Okay, here it says use the following to answer the next question. Event A is randomly selecting a male. Event B is randomly selecting someone who can play an instrument. Are they exclusive or not? They're not mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive means they have no overlap, right? Males can play instruments. You can find one. It's not mutually exclusive. So these are not mutually exclusive because they can happen at the same time. Here we have consider 6 Venn diagrams below in which relationships between the universal set U and A and B are represented by the shaded blue, I said shoe because I put them together, shaded blue area. The circle on the left is A and the circle on the right is B. We want A or B. A union B is A or B, which is the snowman, which is 6. Then I want A and not B. So where is A shaded but not B? 2. Remember when you get ands, you get the crescent moons? When you get one of them's negated, you get to keep the crescent moon that isn't negated, so that's why we kept A. And then this one is A and B not. So I want what's not the eyeball. Which one is not the eyeball? 4. Because the eyeball is not shaded. 4. And here we have a Venn diagram is used to illustrate the relationship between A and B. The regions of the Venn diagram are numbered 1 to 4. The region that must be shaded where A or B not. So not the snowman. Which one is not the snowman? 1. The Pizzazz Pizza Plaza offers these 3 choices for each pizza. Thin or thick crust, regular or whole wheat crust, 3 types of cheese, 2 types of tomato sauce, and that symbol, different toppings. As a special promotion, the company advertises that there are 336 different ways that the pizza can be created by using only 1 topping. The first 5 customers who correctly identify that symbol, number of different toppings, will win a prize. If they only take 1 of each, I can use the blanks, right? If they take more than 1 of each, I have to use C. So say they wanted 2 types of cheese, then I would have to go 3C2. But if it's just 1 of each, remember I told you can use the blanks if it's just 1 of each item. So I can go thin or thick, which is 2, regular whole wheat, which is 2, 3 types of cheese, 2 types of tomato sauce, X number of toppings equals 336. What's 2 times 2 times 2 times 3? 24. 24x equals 336, and then divide by 24. What does x equal? 14? Yeah. Here we have a mother and a father want a family photograph taken with 6 children. In how many ways can the family stand if the parents must occupy the 2 middle positions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to put them here and they're going to stay there, right? How many options for this one? 2, either parent. And then 1. What about here?
There's 8 people in the family, but you choose 6 points.
What about here?
6.
6, then? Then? 1440? And then this one here says the number of 4-digit odd numbers. What does a 4-digit number mean? Can't start with a 0. Odd number means it has to end in an odd number. 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Catch on this one? There is no 1 and there is no 3. So we can't count those. So we start at the back. We have 5, 7, or 9, which is 3. It says without repetition. So what do we do when we don't repeat? Okay, I didn't want it. I'm just going to keep it. What do we do when we can't repeat? Box and hold. So I'm going to box and hold the 5. You could have done the 7 or 9. So then I have the option of 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is 5. I'm going to hold the 9. Then I have 4, 6, 7, 8. That's it. I have to remember the 0 can actually be in that blank, right? 0 can be at the very back or it would be even. 0 can't be at the front or it wouldn't be a 4-digit. So I actually still have 5. And then 4, 6, 7, 8. 25 times 4 times 3, 300. Okay, the back side we are going to go through, the rest of this we're going to go through tomorrow. We're going to go through some sinusoidal now. Recording. We talked about amplitude, period, midline, max, mins, domain, and range yesterday off an equation, right? Off an equation we did D plus amplitude, D minus amplitude, and it got us our max and mins. Off a graph, how do we find the amplitude? Do you remember? Absolute value of? Yeah, I'm going to zoom this in. Oh, that was aggressive. Is there an in-between? Nope. Okay, we'll get this. Amplitude is absolute value of max minus min divided by 2, right? So it's going to be 5 minus 1 divided by 2, which is 4 divided by 2, which is 2. How do I get the midline? Yeah.
Y equals max plus min divided by 2.
Yeah. So it's max plus the min divided by 2. So we get 5 plus 1 divided by 2 because we're getting the average. And the midline can be 3. And remember, the midline is a line. You better have y equals. If you don't have y equals, you go in and put y equals. Or you gave me a median value, right? Not a midline. And remember, if I count up my amplitude and I count down my amplitude, I should meet at my midline. So I know I'm right. The period of this graph, how long it takes to repeat itself, right? So if I go past a max, past a min, back up to that height, when does that happen? Looks like 8. So the period is 8. What's my domain of every sinusoidal function?
X.
X such that x and l are the real numbers. And my range is min to max with losers, right? So we do y such that my minimum is 1 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to, remember, loser, slanted L's. Low to high. So it's 1 to 5 YER. Okay, then we do the amplitude of this one. So it's the absolute value of the max, which is 3, minus the min, which is -7, divided by 2, which is the absolute value of 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So we count up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we meet at y equals -2, which is my midline. Remember, we can do the formula, though. We can just go y equals max, which is 3, plus min, which is -7, divided by 2, which is -4 divided by 2, which is -2. Remember, there's no absolute values on the midline, because our midline can be below the x-axis and above, so it can be negative or positive. The period of this graph, started my y-axis, past a max, past a min, back up to that height. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to pi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 2 pi's. The domain is x such that x and l are the real numbers. And the range is y such that low to high, so -7 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 3. Y is now in the real. Are we starting to remember this again? How you get it from a graph instead of an equation? Yeah? Lucas is waving his head yes, so that means all of you agree. Perfect. Okay, amplitude. Absolute value of 5 minus -3 divided by 2 is the absolute value of 8 divided by 2, which is 4. And then the midline is y equals the maximum plus the minimum divided by 2, which is 2 divided by 2, which is 1. And we can check this. Remember, if we count down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we count up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we meet at y equals 1. We should be able to check these, right? The period is actually, the y-axis is a minimum, so I need to go to another minimum, right? A min to a min. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to pi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 2 pi again. My domain is x such that x is an element of the reals. And my range is y such that negative 3 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 5. Y is an element of the reals. And then we go to the next page. Is it starting to come back? I know at the beginning people probably forgot about it. It's starting to come back to you? Yeah. All right. For this one, my amplitude is the absolute value of 5 minus negative 1 divided by 2, which is 6 divided by 2, which is 3. The midline is negative 5 plus negative 1 divided by 2, which is negative 6 divided by that's a positive 5, isn't it? Okay. Didn't want to use the eraser anyways. Okay, 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Count down 3. 1, 2, 3. Something is wrong. Some one of these things just ain't like the other. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I don't want to get an eraser, so pretend that's not there. And then 1, 2, 3. So this is at 2. Where's my problem?
You added the 1 to the 5.
I did. 5 plus negative 1 is not 6. It is 4. So it is 2. I can't even erase that. It just looks terrible. But remember, if you actually go and check, you will catch yourself, right? I know I messed up because I went to go draw it and it didn't land on 3. You should always double check. You can double check by drawing them. The period, past a min, past a max, back up to that height. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to pi. 1, 2, 3, 6 to 2 pi. My domain is x such that x is an element of the reals. And my range is low to high with slanted ups. So low is negative 1. High is 5. Y here. This one, my amplitude is the absolute value of 7 minus 1 divided by 2, which is 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So if I count up 3, and then I count down 3, I needed actually what? Looks like 4. Let's check it. So our midline is y equals 7 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Matches that. The period, start on the y, past a max, past a min, back to that height, and I get 4 pi. It's the horizontal distance. Domain is x such that x is an element of the reals. And the range is y such that 1 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 7. Y is an element of the reals. And then we have this one. The amplitude is the absolute value. We'll pretend this went on 2. Hopefully you pretended that as well. It looks like it's a little higher, but we'll use 2 and negative 4. So it's going to be 2 minus negative 4 divided by 2, which is 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So if I count down 3, it goes to here, count up 3, goes to here, and it looks like I meet at negative 1. Let's check it out. Midline is 2 plus negative 4 divided by 2, which is negative 2 divided by 2, which is negative 1. What am I missing? Y equals, because it's a midline. If I ask for the median value, negative 1 is sufficient, right? The period of the graph start here and go past a min, past a max, back to that height. And if this is pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, this would be 4 pi over 4, which is just pi. And then my domain is x such that x and down to the reals. And my range is from -4 to 2. Y such that -2 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to, that's a lie. Oh no, I can't erase. Don't do this on a test. It's bad. Okay. -4 to 2. Tomorrow I need that entire booklet completed because we're going to go through the rest of that review booklet tomorrow if you're doing a class. And then we're going to do sinusoidal regression. And then we're going to do review. Tomorrow is Wednesday. That's your last day of review. Thursday is what? Cumulative. What's on your cumulative? Set theory, terms and comms, rationals. Pardon? And there's another unit in there. Polynomials. Linears, quadratics, cubics. But not this stuff. Logs and exponentials. Tomorrow you'll get to see your logs and exponential test as well. Those are going to fix your mistakes.